Hey there, I'm Dejan Isak, and this is the Agency Engine Room, where we cut through the noise of thousands of tools to reveal the systems that actually deliver client results. The agencies that scale aren't just using more tools. They're strategically integrating the right tools to create operational engines that consistently deliver without burning out their teams. Find show notes and resources at agencyengineroom.com or /agencyengineroom on LinkedIn. Today, we're opening the engine room with Kris, head of growth at Links. They've built a digital PR system that's delivered thousands of high-quality backlinks with one unique operational control. They actually refuse orders that could damage client rankings. Kris, welcome to the agency engine room. Digital PR is flooded with low-quality outreach and burned journalist relationships. How have you engineered Links operations to break the cycle?
Hi there, Dayan. Thanks again for having me on your podcast. It's exciting stuff, especially when you are at the moment in Japan. So yes, that's pretty awesome. I'm sure the weather's much nicer than where I am at the moment. So obviously, Linux is all about, links, and we started with digital PR links. Now we also do link insertions, and guest posts and stuff like that. However, the journalist outreach and the relationships behind it is the key to land really good quality links. The conversion, rate goes up with that as well. So it's a must, really. You cannot score many wins if you don't have any relationships with the journalists. So you need to be, almost like a, friend of theirs. That's it. That's how you establish good relationships. You cannot be bland. You cannot be tasteless. You need to be fun. You need to also kind of work out the journalist, as a person, what they like, what they don't like. It's like going to a sales meeting. You need to work out your potential client, what they're going to like and what they won't like. Simple as that. At least our PR team kind of worked out how to, manage those relationships and stuff like that, which is great because, we are in such a lucky position where the journalists themselves come to us for some expert commentary that, we need to provide, because we've got a lot of clients and, they can provide some good insights, which is brilliant because, that saves us a lot of time because we don't have to outreach and, and be on different, arrow platforms and stuff like that, and try to be the first, to pitch, the journalists and stuff like that. So it's a massive time save. The relationship is key. It's like, going to a restaurant and providing good service as a waiter, it's crucial for the experience, and it's the same thing, not only for our clients, but also for the journalist and the entire, cycle. So yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I think I've talked to a lot of SEO people or anyone in link building, and relationship building is very important these days, especially with all the AI stuff going on. Like everything is very, I don't know, it seems personalized, but it's AI personalized, right? It's like you get the first name right, you scrape the internet, you find some recent stuff about them and you use it as a hook. But then to me, it seems like fake personal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. When I see those messages on LinkedIn, for example, as well, when some people try to sell me links as well, I mean, it's the same old crap. Unfortunately, and I will never, it doesn't. I don't know. There's not enough taste. Same with like the I guess if I had a lot of clients where they tried to pitch, themselves, and it was, and I've seen the pitch, and I've seen it's clearly AI generated, but also it's very bland, it's tasteless, it's very generic. There's nothing fun about this pitch where, you need to stand out, from the entire crowd. I mean, I'm sure there'll be 20 plus other people trying to pitch the same thing, So it's crucial that you have to do something different than just use AI. You need to use AI as a tool, but you can't just rely on it 100%. Not at all. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You've mentioned that you refuse certain orders that could harm clients. How have you operationalized the selective approach in your client onboarding and evaluation process?
Yeah, so we had a few occasions where we had to refuse some orders, and we are a link building agency, and we have refused some guest posts and link insertions in the past. Not necessarily, digital PR links. We try to talk with the client and see how we can maybe make it happen or maybe provide some different strategy. But we had a few occasions where the client itself wanted to spend $2,000 on a high quality backlink on a guest post on, you probably would know this website, but I can't really say. But like, anyway, they wanted that link going back to their product page, collection page. And I said to them, well, you cannot do that because it's a waste of money. It won't pass any SEO value. And they clearly wanted to state it's going to be they're doing it for the SEO purposes. And I said to them, you cannot do that because it's a waste of money. Where if I was a marketplace, I would probably not be able to see that order in, and you would spend $2,000 on crap, on a useless thing where you could have, spend some, that money better in a different, I guess, spaces within the SEO. It doesn't matter if it's a link or content or wherever. So yeah, we had one client like that, a few months ago, and I said to him, we won't do it. He got kind of upset, and I was like, you know what, this won't work at all. Like I could just see like his reaction and stuff. Like we won't be able to have a good relationship together because I don't want to end up, in 6 months' time where the client will just spend $20,000 on links with us, and then there's no results, real results. And obviously, links aren't everything in SEO, but like I want to make sure that we will provide some good value for money, and that's not good value for money in my eyes. If spending $2,000 on a useless link, especially if their main goal is to pursue SEO stuff. It isn't, sponsored article where, they want to have some, sponsored, stuff. But like it happens. Sometimes, you have to be prepared to drop some clients, even so that means you will lose revenue, but it's just for your good health, I guess, your mental health. You don't have to, have any hassle and stuff like that. Luckily enough, we were in a good position to do that. But I know for a fact, sometimes when you're getting started, you try to take on everything. Doesn't matter if it's a good or bad client, Will it be difficult? You don't know, probably, but like you still want that revenue. It's, I think, the next step for any agency. It doesn't matter if it's a link building agency or SEO agency, you'll have to prepare to drop some clients and not to take any of them at all. Sometimes, of course, but it's not always the case. But like if it's a difficult one and it's going to be more hassle than good, then, you have to do it. You have to, drop them.
Yeah, I think it is really time consuming because we do it Service Provider Pro as well in-house. So I set it up first, then we hired someone to handle that. And it's basically like building a network of partners, like reaching out to a lot of people, networking a lot on LinkedIn. People refer you, people tell you, oh, this person can also give you a link. So like this management of all these little relationships takes forever because maybe I put a link live, but they don't make it live for like 2 months, which is fine in our case because we just go for relevancy. But some people, they have this very strict monthly reporting. You have to hit like 10 links, 15 links. So I can see what kind of bottleneck that is because at the end of the month, they're very pressured into getting those results.
Yeah, exactly. And I want for our clients to come back. I mean, what's the point of selling some client, let's say 10 links today, and they won't come back for the entire year? Those link building agents, not agents, sorry, the SEO agencies and, different like individual brands, they will, buy links every month. So if they won't buy, links for the next 3 or 4 months, something's not right with your link building agency because you've done something wrong, This isn't what we stand for at Linux. We want to make sure the service is good, we provide good stuff as well, and we provide advice where needed because a lot of those, agencies, SEOs and, even like normal brands, let's say e-commerce brands, on internet, they don't have much knowledge about link building and we want to provide some good advice,
Let's dig into a challenge you've highlighted. Ranking number 1 is easy. Staying there is hard. What specific operational failures cause companies to lose those top positions?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. I'm going to talk from like a link building perspective because obviously, link building isn't all about, it isn't 100% of SEO. It's such a big puzzle of it, but it's not everything, of course. However, to rank, in top 10 or in top 5, there's certain, clients in the past that we worked with where they went to different link building agencies and they were literally just buying more links from, marketplace and stuff like that, which is absolutely fine. It will, skyrocket your brand to, page from number 1 or 2, it will give you that boost. But the thing is, you need to get those links that people cannot really buy. So that's why, if the brand itself has money to spend on digital PR, I would say go with digital PR all the time because it's this sort of links where doesn't matter what marketplace it is, with links, they won't have that because you can't buy links to earn those links, and that's why you need to do it. Obviously, digital PR is probably the most expensive part of link building, but it's if the brand has money and obviously it's a growth, it's an investment as well. So if you can start with maybe some link insertion and guest posts, and then for like let's say next 6 to 12 months, And then maybe afterwards you can think about digital PR, perhaps because, you should seen that growth already. You should have, get that ROI from those link insertions and guest posts. And then afterwards, maybe you should just go ahead with digital PR. Obviously, the ideal scenario would be to do all three at the same time. But obviously, I'm just talking about, normal client where perhaps, the budget is quite thin, It just depends on the brand really. But like, yeah, I think, try to get those links, your competitors don't have is key. It's key here. From link building perspective, at least, I can't really talk about SEO itself because I'm not a massive expert at it. But yeah, I just do links.
Yeah, I work with Service Provider Pro, and we're also thinking about digital PR. There's, I think, one thing that also is a factor, and it's like if a redesign is coming. That's very tricky because you don't want to launch any PR campaigns before it's done, 100% perfect, launched. So yeah, have you had any clients that like told you, oh, we're going to be like completely rebranding or launching some redesign? And then you had to warn them, oh, listen, just let's wait a little bit.
Yeah, we had a lot of them actually. Yeah, funny enough. We had a client where they migrated to a complete new website and the new name as well. The entire website was different as well. So it was we had to juggle some stuff. We had to delay one campaign. Then because we've done some link insertions for them in the past, we would try to change the branded anchors as well for them for the new. Because at the moment, for at least majority of our clients, we tend to or at least our clients tend to go ahead with, about 70 to 80% branded anchors, and the rest of them are just keywords, which for the last 12 months, I would say has been working really well. I don't know how you guys doing, for your own company, but like, it's been working really, really well. Yeah, so that's that really. I don't know if, but like going back to that, digital PR and preparing all the bits, especially when you're changing some stuff, yeah, it can be quite difficult. And I think it could be quite difficult for some clients where they work directly with the SEO agency and the SEO agency works with us, can be quite a long process, but like, it's fine, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that the client's happy. They won't buy links from us today. They'll buy every single month, some links. That's what we, strive for.
I saw that you work with both agencies and direct brands. What are the costliest bottlenecks each group faces when scaling link building?
Well, I guess, to scale a link building can be quite difficult. Doesn't matter. I mean, I think if you can scale it as a SEO agency is even better. But like for a little brand, I know for a fact, smaller brands, they don't have budgets, to, let's say, buy directly from marketplace or from like a link building agency. They'll try to do it manual outreach themselves, and they'll probably give up because they might not have enough responses and stuff like that. Something similar could be, said about, the actual, SEO agencies as well. But like, I guess the operations is just like the entire setup can be quite costly. If you can basically set up like a link building agency within your agency, you should be able to sell at the, sell your links at the high like rate. Not rate, but like in terms of like volume, it should be worth it because otherwise there's just too many costs involved. If you're going to do it in-house, you have to make sure that you'll be able to sell it maybe elsewhere as well, not only to your clients, but also, beyond, because otherwise, you're doing a lot of manual outreach, and it can be quite, time consuming. If you want to scale it, then, that's the only way to do it, so if you want to scale it, let's say with other marketplaces or using, like people like us as well, you're going to save yourself so much more time, hassle, and probably money as well in the long term. But I know for a fact there's a lot of SEO agencies that they do it in-house and they'll swear it by because they'll have full control over it anyway, which is obviously, good in own ways. But to be fair with us, we're fully transparent with our links, not only with digital PR, but also with like link insertions and guest posts. We literally give you a list of sites, prices next to them, and if you're happy to go ahead with any of the domains, you're good to go. It's like picking food from like a la carte menu. So that's that really. Going back to like scaling, it's a tricky one because it depends really on the agency, on the brand. It's a very broad question. But like I said this to somebody before, and I'm going to say again, like if you can sell those links beyond your agency or your brand, then it's worth it. But if it isn't, then unless you've got maybe close to 50 clients, then maybe it's worth it. Then why not? I know for a fact a lot of agencies tried it before and failed. Same with little brands, that perhaps, try to do it themselves. But like, yeah, at the end of the day, we provide a service and convenience, that's all. I think link building isn't too difficult at all, but it's just like, it's very time consuming. simple as that.
Yeah, I think it is really time consuming because we do it Service Provider Pro as well in-house. So I set it up first, then we hired someone to handle that. And it's basically building a network of partners, like reaching out to a lot of people, networking a lot on LinkedIn. People refer you, people tell you, oh, this person can also give you a link. This management of all these little relationships takes forever because maybe I put a link live, but they don't make it live for like 2 months, which is fine in our case because we just go for relevancy. But some people, they have this very strict monthly reporting. You have to hit like 10 links, 15 links. So I can see what kind of bottleneck that is because at the end of the month, they're very pressured into getting those results.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, we've got our own deadlines as well. So whenever, we need to make sure that, the client's going to get their, links as fast as possible. And we try to get them live within 72 hours. At least I'm talking about guest posts and linking sessions, of course. But in terms of like digital PR, obviously that takes much longer. It can take few weeks to get first link, but that's just how it works, really. But going back to your own company, like the brand itself, so do you do a lot of like link exchanges then as well?
Yeah, it's mostly right now we're focusing a lot on listicles because we just want the brand to be very visible, right? And sometimes we also do some sort of expert quote links where we just give them a no follow link in exchange for an expert quote, which also leads me to my next question. Let's examine your digital PR engine in our efficiency engine segment. You offer an expert quote link building service with a very streamlined process. Can you walk us through that workflow and what kind of information you collect?
Yeah, so absolutely. So we work with little brands and also big SEO agencies that supply us with a lot of different clients. In regards to expert commentary, PR service is pretty simple. It's most of the time it's done for you service, and the way it works is, especially with SEO agencies, because otherwise it'll be too much of the hassle to ask for actual quotes from the end client. However, with the SEO agencies, they tend to go with done for you service, and we literally just provide them with the form. We need like stuff like, their LinkedIn, their publications they've featured in beforehand as well, and something about themselves, and maybe some certain questions that we may have that perhaps journalists might, want to hear as well from them, because we see queries every single day. We know what's out there. We know what sort of success rate, a plumber can have, and I don't know, a chef, for example. We know that exactly. It's not hard to figure out after doing this for a few months or years. So stuff like that. And as soon as that's ready, we basically pitch on their behalf. That's obviously within their own, like, if it's relevant to them and stuff like that. It could be also business related, marketing, or whatever they wanted to be featured in and whatever they said about. Basically, we try to pick some stuff from what they said. It's quite a long form, but it can be quite simplified if you know what you're doing. It doesn't take too much of time. But the point is, as the more stuff we get from them, we can use it in a better way with the journalists, because at the end of the day, we pitch to the journalist on their behalf and we provide that extra quote. Yes, we use their stuff, but like we need to put stuff together, be more punchy, a bit more fun as well, not to be tasteless, like AI pitch, you tend to get. So that's one part. The other part would be, and it's used quite often as well, where we get clients, but they want to pre-approve before we send the pitch out, because usually we don't accept for the clients to look at the pitch prior to sending it to the actual journalist. The main caveat for it is just speed of the pitch. If we pitch, after the first 2 hours, there's just too much of the competition. We need to make sure that we pitch within 2 hours, which can be obviously quite difficult, but like we managed to do it quite well. But if we do that with the client can take a while. Yes, we've got their WhatsApp, and the way it works is they literally just recording themselves and answering these questions, which is quite good because it's already kind of like AI proof we found. And yes, we're obviously going to edit it a bit slightly to make it a bit more, colorful for the journalists themselves. But like it's awesome. It works. It still does work really well. But again, it's for the guys that they want that proofreading a bit and just make sure that it's kind of like 100% them saying it, which is still good, and it works, and we land links and try to do that within 3 or 4 hours after receiving the the query from the journalist, which obviously is not always possible for our clients, because again they have to record it themselves and answer this query, which can be quite difficult. But if whenever I've got like a client's call and I try to explain the service to them, I do make sure to manage those expectations right, because we there's going to be a difference by pitching within 2 hours and 4 hours. It's going to be a big difference throughout the month. So I think the recipe for a good like service to make sure you manage your clients' expectations well. Because otherwise, you're going to be stuck in a corner on the week 5, and they were asking, "Oh, where are my 10 links from digital PR?" You're going to shoot yourself in the foot otherwise.
Yeah, I'm wondering because you mentioned how important it is to have a very quick response time. What happens over the weekend when your clients are not available?
If it's a done for you service, we still going to pitch on over the weekend. I mean, the queries over the weekend, they're not there's not too many, but we'll still work over the weekend because there's less competition. So there's always easier way to get some links. Basically, that's all. But like, yeah, if it's the weekend, it's kind of hard. They usually also tell us, "Oh, not to bother with the weekend queries," which is fair enough. Some people want to have time off. Unlike me. So yeah, I don't blame them. So yeah, again, it's all about managing expectations. As long as your client know that it might take a bit longer than usual, then it's fine. Because as long as they get those, let's say 5 or 10 links, then it's good, all good. And make sure obviously the DR, the traffic is great. Sometimes I get so excited, especially with the smaller clients, like little brands, like I've got obviously WhatsApp directed to them. I'll WhatsApp them straight away with the live link. Oh, look, your feature on Martha Stewart. Oh, there you are. So, do follow link or whatever. It's probably the best feeling because it kind of like gives us huge satisfaction because you've seen the result after let's say 10 pitches. And you only land one, but you land one big one. It's definitely rewarding. And you can see that those clients when you speak to them directly. Unlike with obviously SEO agencies and 20 other clients of theirs, it makes a good feel factor for sure.
Yeah, you mentioned the DR. What kind of conversion metrics matter most for you? Is it like the number of pitch to placement ratios, time to publish, domain authority scores?
Obviously, the conversion is quite crucial. We've got a network of sites that we know for a fact that they will ask for expert commentary, but they will never put a link in. So we kind of skip those. Because otherwise it's just a waste of time and we won't get any links. But in regards of like DA and DR, I think that's the least what we want to like talk about. I mean, on average for the digital PR is about 79, 80 at the moment, DR. We always target traffic, we always want to make sure that traffic is high on the website and it's a good quality website, overall. But obviously conversion is quite important, in regards of conversion, I think it's up to us to make sure it's converted, not to so we always make sure that we try to do our best to pitch. If we think that, let's say, we're a bit too late, the query was maybe, I don't know, 18 hours ago, maybe it's not worth pitching at all because it's just like, I don't know, it's a bit of a gamble. We might as well just use those hours and pitch somewhere else instead. That's how I think we operate. It's been doing quite good for us, especially for our conversion rate. I don't know how other, PR agencies tend to do it, especially with like expert commentary. But like, yeah, it's been working really well for us, In between, you had Harrow going down, now it's up again one way or another, So it's been quite of a journey, but like for us, we haven't really been impacted, to be fair, in that regards, which is quite good. I'm very glad about that because we've got our own network of journalists now, and they still email us, every week and ask, "Oh, have you got any expert commentary in regarding this article I'm writing about next week?" And which is it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's brilliant that you actually don't have to reach out and the journalists reach out to you. So that's the ideal scenario.
It's rewarding now for sure.
Yeah, and I think one more thing that might not be trackable is something like brand awareness, right? Although now with AI, maybe you can actually see a little spike. Like if ChatGPT starts visiting you after some campaign, maybe someone saw it somewhere and started Googling just the brand name.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, going to like I think the brand awareness, like it doesn't matter if it's SEO related or if it's on LinkedIn or wherever. I mean, I think it's still very important and crucial. And again, yeah, it'll be quite hard to measure it, I guess. But like, I'm sure there'll be one way or another, like you mentioned with that, like ChatGPT and that. But yeah, I think it's crucial, and that's where you guys do expert commentary as well, don't you? So most of the expert commentary will be with the brand's name, wouldn't it? Let's say John Smith of this brand. I think being a link builder for a while now, branded anchors, they're probably the best thing at the moment. Obviously, you cannot just do 100% branded anchors, but I think the majority of the branded anchors that that we use, it's been working really well. If we use 70-80% of branded anchors for our clients and then do rest with for like specific keywords, it's been working wonderfully. So cannot complain at all. Yeah.
Let's move to the user impact section. Your white label report includes links to all successful payments along with their domain authority scores. How does this reporting system help agencies demonstrate value to their clients?
Yeah, that's a good question. The spreadsheet itself that we provide with like the report, obviously will include like DADR, traffic, the anchor text, the linked URL as well and stuff like that. It's obviously it's basic, but like I tend to like whenever we send out the report, I want to have a meeting with the end client at the end of it and like try to like show them what we've done, and yes, obviously they'll have everything on paper within the report, but like how can we show the value that we provided? That's a good question. For me, the answer is pretty simple. With the digital PR links, there are certain links that you cannot simply buy on any marketplace with any link builder. You cannot just buy it. And there'll be some links that you can buy. You can go on some marketplaces right now, and they'll be in thousands of dollars for one place. And then if you look at our prices, you compare how many links you got, you know for a fact that DR85 cannot be bought, and this one is $2,000. Well, the value for money should be there, and that's how I try to show our clients. Doesn't matter if it's an SEO agency or if it's a little client. I try to like show that value. Usually, they're very very happy with it because it's a high DR average, high traffic as well, campaign, and the client is happy. So yeah, so far we haven't had any complaints in regards to digital PR. So yeah, that's quite good.
Yeah, we talked a lot about the difference between serving agencies and just direct brands. What kind of operational difference exists on your end just serving these two types of clients?
There isn't much of a difference, except for like account managing. It's really all about, when you're working with a big SEO agency, like we do with one of them, and they give us about 15 clients every month on just doing the expert commentary PR. Which is obviously great for us. But like then, we've got one account manager that they look after that account, and it's just like one-to-one meeting if needed with that person, and it's just like exchange between two people. Where we've got little clients, well, not little clients, but like one-off client, that requires, I guess, almost the same amount of attention, even so just one client. But then again, I think it's even more rewarding because, as I say, you'll kind of build that relationship with them. I sometimes will just message them, oh, I've got your link on this website, and be super excited at stupid early times of the morning, and they'll still love it. But like, you build that relationship, and that's how, our clients tend to stay a bit longer for, with the SEO agencies, you still need to build that, trust, you need to make sure that you deliver results, but also be human as well and be, talk with them every now and then. I've got a meeting with one of my clients once a week, and most of the time, yes, well, not most of the time. Most of the time, we'll just talk about crap, and then maybe 5-10 minutes, we'll just, oh yeah, are there any updates about link building? And the entire meeting will last about 45 minutes, and 5 or 10 minutes will just spent on the actual business. So that's how the relationship should look like, between at least that's what I think, between link builders like us and other agencies like SEO agencies and so on.
Yeah, I love that chit chat. That's always good just to warm up and keep the relationship warm.
Exactly, yeah, because at the end of the day, you won't buy a link from a random person on LinkedIn that just messaged you, really. I mean, the chances are pretty slim. You buy it from someone that you know. That's why I think, whenever we go to like conferences and stuff like that, you try to not sell yourself, but you try to sell yourself. And then you sell, your PR stuff and links and stuff like that. But, you need to just like be human, and I think that's quite important, especially, in the entire like world of AI at the moment, because you see all the same messages on LinkedIn. I mean, you should see my inbox on LinkedIn. It's all spam. I tried to scroll, down to find you today just to, message you early on. So yeah, it's just, it's a nightmare, but like, yeah, it's for sure, it's very, very important.
Right. And do they like try to integrate you into their workflow, like specific tools you should use?
Yeah. Some of them actually, they've set up my own emails as well for their agency. So sometimes if like the client has some specific question that maybe they won't be able to answer, or I can answer quicker, I'll answer on their behalf and just say, oh yeah, I'm Kris from this agency. I'm just part of the link building team or whatever, or PR team. Yeah, it's great to have those relationships. And yeah, I mean, hopefully, at the moment we're still growing, so hopefully there'll be more to come. But then I guess we'll have to hire even more people, more account managers and stuff like that, just to keep that push going. But then we'll see what happens in the next 12 months. But like, yeah, so far at the moment we cannot complain in terms of like the client acquisition. So yeah, absolutely.
Let's move to our engine diagnostic. You've refused orders when links might do more damage than good, so we've talked about this earlier. Can you tell me if you have some kind of evaluation framework for making these tough calls?
Not really. I mean, I try to so sometimes because we've got a couple account managers and I'll see what's going on in between and stuff like and they account managers also know that okay, you shouldn't be doing that. They'll provide some feedback as well, like some insights like, oh, maybe you should do this because of this. So I think the knowledge part is very important. And again, I'm gonna say we are not marketplace, we're just like a link builder. So if we do see something's not right when you're placing those all orders, the actual buttons, something's not right, you should inform the client. Unless you're revenue driven, then you say, okay, fuck it, and take the money. But we don't do that because otherwise, we'll have definitely more money in the bank. But like, I think in the long term, those clients might not be happy because of there's no results, or maybe the results are pretty poor. There's no good ROI in it, so maybe they'll just leave that feedback to somebody else. Say, oh, we've used them, but we didn't get any results. But actually, I can just say that it wasn't my fault, but again, it's word against word, so it's the hassle's not really needed. I just want to make sure we provide good service. And yeah, going back to the knowledge, the account managers, myself, others, they need to know the stuff, at least the basics, that something's not right because you shouldn't be spending that much money on this link, for example. Or, again, the target URL is wrong because, it's a product page, stuff like that. It's a simple example where I think just the knowledge part and just making sure that you're providing good customer service. That's it. I think if you're doing that, then you shouldn't really think about it.
Do you think it happens actually very often with like smaller companies where people don't know too much about SEO and someone just told them, oh, just get some link on this product page and it's going to be cool?
Yeah, so I had I had a not even small brands. Let me tell you, I've got some SEO clients where they came to me from a referral. Said, oh, they've been doing this link building recently. They spent $50,000 in like past 3 months on links for some of their clients, and it has done nothing. And then I've asked them to like send me the list of sites, of what links they built, all the bits, and I've looked at it, and it's like most of them were Fiverr links and like really, really crap ones. And big majority of them were probably, I would say, $10 to $20 links. You look at the site and for a fact it's a link farm, it's very generic, stuff like that. And imagine spending $15,000 on this. And I know for a fact what platforms they use and stuff like that. And I'm not going to pinpoint who's what, but because I know a lot of them do. But like, and I know for a fact some of them do offer account management and stuff like that. But like, there are $10, $20 links on these platforms for a reason, to make money. Some people will be happy with those. Obviously, they've got their pros and cons, but you can definitely spend that 15K better. It happens quite a lot, And again, that's where the education part is quite, critical because you want to make sure that you advise, staff well. 100 links for $100 is crap. Average price for like guest posts and link insertions, it's between $150 to $450, roughly, in that sphere. If you're spending more money on links, I think you should be just doing digital PR per link. Otherwise, because it doesn't make any sense,
Yeah, I can't believe that people are spending like almost no money on links.
I did speak with a lot of SCS, and some of them have good knowledge of link building, probably even better than me. However, there'll be some SEOs that have really low, like, knowledge about link building, how to do it properly and stuff like that, which is kind of surprising from me because I come from the hospitality background and I used to wait tables and, run the bars and restaurants and stuff like that. A bit bizarre from my end, but like, yeah, I guess you cannot be expert in every field. So yeah, there you are then.
For sure, you can't be an expert in everything, but also I do SEO and anything about growth marketing. I still had to learn about link building until like 3 years ago. I didn't know much about it. So I did learn everything there is to know about it because you have to have some basic knowledge. Like even if you just do SEO, you can't have zero knowledge about technical SEO. It doesn't make any sense. Like you need to know a little bit about everything.
Yeah, exactly. So there you are. That's why I'm baffled by some people's, expertise. But again, I'm not here to judge.
For sure. We can't judge anyone. Maybe they just got like screwed over by something. They just saw it on Upwork, like lots of cheap links. They just hit the buy button and done deal.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you go to like some big platforms anyway, or link building agencies, sometimes you have to buy before seeing the links as well. So, you spend, let's say, 10K on links, for a couple of your clients, and then they show you the links, and then you're like, if you don't have much experience within the, like, I guess, link building industry, you might be okay with that. I've seen one of my clients recently came back with a order. They've only placed an order for like $2,000, I think $2,500. They spend for I think that money for about 80 links, and I think only one or two were okay. And it was pretty like easy niche. It was fashion. There's a lot of fashion logs where they could be quite good, but there were like 6 or 7 of them were awful. Maybe there's a reason why link building industry has been has a weird reputation, a bit dodgy.
Yeah, there's definitely lots of black hat and let's say gray hat stuff going on. So yeah, let's move to our integration insights. I think we talked about this a little bit, but when agencies plug digital PR into their existing SEO operation, what kind of unexpected challenge do you think they will encounter?
It depends on the scale of the PR that they want to do, but like I know a lot of like different like tools, subscriptions, all the costs related to that will be expensive. Also, if you want to do it in-house, obviously you have to hire someone as well. You can do it on your own as well, but like again, all the subscriptions and stuff like that, tools that you're going to use, they're going to cost you money. Obviously your time as well. And I think I'm going to go back to my previous punch to manage your expectations as well, because when you're going to do that at the start, you cannot just expect to land so many links to start because it's still like a learning curve, You're going to learn what's working, what isn't. You're going to tweak your pitches. Maybe you're going to decide not to do expert commentary. You're going to do only data-driven, which is high risk, high reward type of tactic, which is, I think, is really good. But like bear in mind of the costs and like the labor, the time you have to put into it, and just manage your expectations to start with, because it's not always going to be pretty. And a lot of people give up too quickly as well because they're not scoring any links, And I know for a fact because I wanted to do some stuff by myself when I got started with expert commentary, and I wasn't landing anything. I was getting frustrated, and I literally gave up after like maybe a couple of weeks. I was like, oh, or maybe even more actually. And then one time I was literally just like looking for if I could just randomly, like maybe 3 or 4 weeks later, I've seen like, oh my God, I've scored a link for my client. Look at that, And there was like a DR80, 500K traffic do follow link, and it was, yes, great, That's when I guess noticed that the journalists will never tell you that they actually included your link within, the article. But like, yeah, I guess it was a learning curve. I mean, again, I don't come, from, PR background. My brother does. So he's got a bit more knowledge about the content side and stuff like that. So yeah, again, manage your expectations. Just make sure you set yourself, the bar a bit lower, and then and you should be good to go. Especially if you're SEO agency or even small SEO agency, I think that's doable. When you're smaller brand, I think if you've got time, you can do it. If you've got time, but it just depends how much do you value your time at. Is it worth it? That's a good question, which I can answer for. So yeah.
Speaking of smaller SEO agencies, let's say somebody's just starting out now. What team structure and tools would you say are absolutely essential?
I know agency is a quite big digital marketing agency. It's like a full, well, they do everything pretty much. They do anything like social media, they do SEO, PPC, and so on. And they've recently started doing expert commentary PR for their own clients. And funny enough, they bought all the tools. Actually, they already had all the tools because they were doing SEO for their clients. They've added some extra subscriptions as well, but then I don't think it was too expensive for them to do so. And the owner of the agency is doing the expert commentary for the clients. So even the founder can find some time and do it, So yeah, it's possible. And especially when, digital PR is expensive, it can be quite expensive. So yeah, you can, definitely save money. But then again, it depends how much time throughout the day, you or maybe some members of your staff, your team have to do it. It can be quite challenging for some people that never had any like experience with it. So maybe you might have to hire from outside, which again will translate to higher costs. But like, I think it would just depend on your demand within the agency. Like, do you think like, would they need that? To be fair, that's a good question. Do you think like there'll be, their clients would need digital PR? Because obviously I think, they'll have to charge higher for the retainer overall. And again, not every brand would be able to afford that. If that's the case, is it worth it? I don't know. But like, I've seen a lot of, small agencies do it and they do it on their own. It really depends. It really depends, but like, I don't see a reason why they shouldn't be able to do it as long as the training is there, and if obviously the tools. Someone committed doing it almost 24/7. Obviously, they need to have some time up, but like 24/7. And yeah, I think this should be good to go. And yeah, again, going back to the low expectations to start with, because again, you cannot just like expect miracles from the start, unless you're awesome at it. I don't think I'm that great personally, but then I don't do PR every day. I manage other stuff. I drive sales. So yeah, there you are.
Let's get tactical for a moment. You said agencies should focus on like content sites with calculators, some unique research, or experts' insights. How would agencies operationalize this advice in their digital PR campaigns?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends. Like, let's say if the agency themselves, SEO agency, started doing digital PR, and now you have to ask yourself, what sort of PR you want to do? Do you want to do reactive PR? Do you want to do expert commentary, data driven? It just depends what works for you. I think the easiest way to get started with the PR would be just doing some expert commentary, because having a subject matter expert is amazing nowadays to land some links. So I think they should be concentrating on this, and afterwards play around with the idea of data driven, because again, it's a high risk, high reward PR tactic. So yeah, I mean, going back to like a website with calculators, obviously they've had the, I think maybe you've seen the same thing, but like, they tend to grow in traffic, and it's great. And obviously it'll be great to get some PR placements on it. But like, again, I think they'll only look for, you have to picture, them with something, but it could be quite a good idea, to be fair, because, as you can see, the traffic on those sites has been growing and growing recently. So if you can pitch something, maybe some story, or maybe just provide some expert commentary, or get in touch with them and, see what they need, really, there's no harm of asking. Maybe they'll just demand, a fee of guest posts, but like, who knows? I don't know. It's always worth to ask, it's only one email. So it really depends. It really depends. But like, I think they should just like start with like expert commentary, and perhaps if they need the client itself maybe needs link going to like the collection page of some sort of like money page and stuff like that. Maybe then perhaps you should do some data driven study, and so they can, perhaps the journal themselves can link back to your collection page or whatever it is, which can be done. It's a bit more difficult, but like, it can be done for sure.
Before we wrap up, here's my signature question. What's one underrated system, tool, or process that you believe is the hidden engine of growth for agencies today?
It's a good one. I use Loom quite often at the moment, and it saves me so much time, just not to have any meetings. Literally, I'm Looming all the time, all my members of staff, and just like, it's brilliant because, yeah, it saves so much money. So, not money, sorry. Well, not money, time, sorry. It saves so much time, it's amazing. Like, sometimes I remember I used to have those 1 hour meetings, and I know for a fact I could have just do a quick Loom that would take 5 minutes. And, it's such a time saver, especially when, at the moment we deal with a lot of clients in Australia, UK, US. We've got clients all over the globe, and we need to manage our time right. As long as I feel like the day is not long enough at the moment. But yeah, going back to Loom, it's a great tool. Anyone should use it really within the ages, just to save some time and share some stuff as well. Obviously, having like weekly meetings as well, I think is quite crucial, just for like morale, and just like doing a little chit chat and a catch up. But like, it's like daily, quick meetings. I don't think they're necessary to do a quick Loom. In our agency, it works amazingly. Yeah, really, it really does. I don't know. Do you guys use Loom at all?
For sure, Loom for video hosting. I actually use CleanShot on macOS just to record when I do like the video recording or the screen recording. But yeah, it's great for like the async communication, because sometimes you're replying to tickets and we don't do calls at a service provider pro. So I just do like a screen recording, upload it, and they can watch it whenever they want.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's such a convenience. Is there anything else really? When doing link building, I think the one important thing would be just do some basic eye check of the website itself. A lot of SEOs, they will not look at the website, they just look at the metrics themselves and say, okay, the traffic is good, it has a decent DR, it's somewhat relevant, okay, fine, let's build a link there for like $200. A lot of people, like, they forget to go on the actual website, do a basic eye test, look at the logo, is the quality of the logo good or not? Does it have any like weird like articles about gambling and stuff like that on there as well? Do you think that website will have still the same amount of traffic within the next 12 months, or will it just crash? If it's a good enough, then buy a link. If not, then don't buy it. It's a waste of money, So I think that's crucial thing, and I still see it all the time where people just don't do basic eye check, which is again bizarre.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant because when I check out websites, even just like getting a new partnership, I'm like looking at the authors, and sometimes you see these websites, they're like a SaaS brand, but they're full of guest authors.
Yeah.
And it's not, it's just there for guest posting, basically.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get anything good out of it.
Exactly, yeah. So you know the drill. So yeah, that's probably, my top 2 tips at the moment, but yeah.
Sometimes the simple tips are the best. Like, you don't have to overcomplicate it.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Kris, thanks for pulling back the curtain on Lunarlink's operations. Where can our listeners connect with you and learn more?
Yeah, so thanks again for having me, Dan. It's lovely to meet you. Yeah, so you can probably connect with me on LinkedIn. That's probably the best place to find me. I'm kind of active on it at the moment. So yeah, just send me an invite, and maybe we can always chat about links and PR. And yeah, always happy to do it.
Thank you for sharing these insights. Remember, great tools are just the start. The magic happens when you strategically implement them into your agency's workflow. This is Dan Isaac. See you in the engine room.